Hey there, Toonami faithful, and welcome back aboard Toonami Absolution, where we talk about the shows that made us us and the shows that made you you. Once again, we are your hosts. My name is Alyx.
I'm Sam.
And I'm John. Sailor Moon R the movie, or in America, Sailor Moon R The Promise of the Rose. Japan got this December 5th, 1993, alongside the special short Make Up Sailor Senshi. The US didn't get it till February 8th, 2000, and Toonami got it November 2nd, 2001. Yes, we should know. There are two dubs of this. There is the Pioneer dub, which came out in 2000, which is using the Deke voice cast and some of Deke's censorship, but it's not Deke are not involved. And then Viz did a later version in 2017, which is the superior version because it features less weird censorship. Alex,
Yes.
this was your choice.
So, we started this week with Yu Yu Hakusho, and Naoko Takeuchi and Yoshihiro Togashi are married. I also really, really like this movie. I have not watched it in about a decade and a half. So I forgot about bisexual Mamoru, but I do really like this movie, and I love Sailor Moon. Like, we're talking about gateways to anime right now, and this is one of my big ones.
That means are you only familiar, at least dub wise, with the Pioneer dub?
I was only familiar with the Pioneer dub for this rewatch. I could only find the Viz dub because tracking down that Pioneer dub is hard. But I like the Viz dub a lot. But it's so interesting because I grew up with like Darian and Serena and Amy and Lee and all that. And so now as an adult, I'm learning the right names.
Yeah, Sagi. Yeah, yeah.
Sam, how was this for you? Because a long timers will probably realise we started with Sailor Moon was the first thing we did, but we didn't get far enough to get all the scouts. So this is all a load of new characters you've never met before.
Oh yeah.
How does it feel having more than two Sailor Scouts?
I mean, it's great. I mean, oh, me? I mean, yeah, I'm used to seeing like more than just the two that we got with our Deke dub initial run. They really kind of gel together and mourn together by the end of it. I mean, there's yeah, it's I this is the Sailor though. I was kind of I kind of went down a rabbit hole, a Sailor Moon rabbit hole. I'm just back from Japan. And I you know I got into what was it? What's the last movie? Is it Sailor Moon Super S or something like that?
The last of the original run or the last of the reboot?
Of this kind of
Oh,
90s.
yeah, Supers.
Yeah, which
Super.
got its own fighting game, which is terrible, by the way.
It's great.
Um,
It's so broken.
yeah, find the side-scrolling beat 'em ups instead, kids. But yeah, yeah, no, it's always so I've always been familiar with the wider Sailor Scout cast. I'm glad that we don't have to one sit through the Deke dub and two kind of slow burn through the Deke dub. There we get all our Sailor Scouts right here. Though, this movie has a really special emphasis, like you were hinting at, on everybody's favorite Tuxedo Mask.
Yeah. Everybody's favorite character, Tuxedo Mask, the character that does everything in the show.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
get to learn about his lovely past with his dead parents,
With his dead parents and his childhood boyfriend,
alien love interest.
yeah.
alien love interest Fiore, I do like Fiore's design. It's very Naoko Takeuchi with his like long mint green hair and the pink and the bodysuit and yeah. So the recap of the plot. Recap of the plot of this movie. Uh,
Start at the beginning, start with the flashback.
so we have a flashback to when Tuxedo Mask, Darren Mamoru actually is orphaned in a car accident and is in the hospital, and he meets another little boy at the hospital and gives him a rose and is like, I will be back for you one day. And then we flash forward to where he's on a date with Usagi, and they're being followed by everybody else because you can't have a date with one person. And then Fiore shows back up and is like, "No, that's my boyfriend. How dare you?" And then it turns out he's an alien and wants to cover the planet in flowers that will eat everything,
Yeah.
and also to get his boyfriend back.
Because he is being mind
Flowers more
controlled by
specific.
another flower.
Yeah.
Yes,
Well,
he's being mind controlled by another flower and being lied to by another woman.
flowers specifically coming to Earth in the form of a giant asteroid
Yes.
that is
Yes.
on a collision course with the planet. And also it's kind of where we get some of the, Tuxedo Mask throwing the rose, we kind of get a bit of a backstory,
Yeah,
and we find out that Tuxedo Mask is at least bisexual, depending on who.
minimally.
He does like him. One of the additions for the Viz dub, hilariously, is so there's a scene very early on where they're all sort of after meeting Fiore for the first time. All the scouts are having a little house party doing some girl talk, and they sort of start arguing while Usagi just dissociates. I've been there. The Viz dub adds a bit about, well, maybe Tuxedo Mask is gay, and that's fine. Is what they're sort of.
It's a Seinfeld
Sorry,
reference.
the timing of that. Tuxedo's gay, and that's fine. And I just hear Alyx interject with no. Sorry, continue.
No, it's a Seinfeld reference.
Yes.
Not that there's anything wrong with that is specifically a Seinfeld reference.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because it's funny because in the Japanese version, that's not included for obvious reasons. What actually happens is they go, well, like, doesn't everybody just love him? And they're all ragging on Mercury because she won't confirm or deny whether she finds him attractive, which is a slightly better gag, which is unfortunate Viz in 2017 had that. Oh.
Yeah.
But yeah, that whole when you hear Amy go, not that there's anything wrong with that, it is a very specific reference to a very specific episode of Seinfeld.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
Good to know that we're getting those in 2017. Nice to see Viz being timely as ever.
Yeah. Well, dating high schoolers and all that right in the Seinfeld wheelhouse.
That's why they included it, because Jerry probably could date Mercury.
Yeah, that right in his strike zone.
Yeah, what's the deal with that?
What's the deal with this lawsuit? Allegedly. Yeah, we are talking of weird children and dating. Yeah, one thing you know the Viz do cut out is a lot of Chibiusa's weirdness towards Mamoru, because in the early scene she is going, "You can't kiss him, that's my Mamoru." It's like, oh girl, I know you're 300, but this gets awkward very, very quickly.
Because it's your dad.
It's your space dad, maybe.
It's your space dad. The timeline on Sailor Moon relationships can be a little difficult. And again, remember, Mamoru is in college and Usagi is 15.
But it's fine because this is non-canon, because this was not written. This is not part of the manga, so do not worry about any of the lore here.
Again, Seinfeld reference.
Yes.
Not that there's anything wrong with that. But yeah, it's a fun movie. It's a fun Sailor Moon adventure. The monsters are very fun designs. I like that we get I like our little montages. I like that all of our girls get fun stuff to do. And Tuxedo Mask is not completely useless. And it is my favorite Tuxedo Mask entrance when he's in like the billboard with all the other dudes in tuxedos and steps out of the billboard like he's waiting there.
I love that so much because it also reminds me of, in the musicals, there is a squad of Tuxedo Masks for a brief moment, and they basically recreate that moment with them all stood around and then he comes out the middle. One of them is also comically fat, which is a recurring gag. It's like, he clearly isn't the rest of them, but everyone pretends he is. I like that moment. Yeah, this is Tuxedo Mask's kind of like coming out. That's a bad choice of wording. His coming out by like, we're really going hard on like his backstory because we don't get much. We know he has the amnesia and that caused him to go for the silver crystal in the manga, but we don't really learn much about him for quite a while. And this is sort of definitely filling a gap.
So just so we're clear, in the past 20 seconds, you said coming out, going hard, and filling a gap. In that order.
I'm allowed to say those things. I have the right.
Not that there's anything wrong.
Well, while we're here talking about weird thematic elements, we should bring up the director of this film. Because this is directed by Kunihiko Ikuhara, who you may all know, who went on to do Revolutionary Girl Utena, do Penguin Drum. This film is really interesting if you're a fan of his work, because this is the point where he starts developing his own visual language. A lot of the shots you see here will be reused in Utena.
Oh yeah, there's a ton of Utena in this.
It's just a moment he kind of like comes into his own, I think, where he sort of stops being someone else. And obviously because of that's going to cause the thing that's going to get him exercised from every anime studio in the world.
Yeah.
there's some weird theming of this, because if you brought the laserdisc of this film, you got a special 20-part essay from him breaking down the themes and the different scenes, which I think there's some really interesting bits. I'll be coming to that a lot during this conversation. But he specifically has a weird example of why Fiore wants Tuxedo Mask, which I think is really interesting. So he pulls on a quote from a book, which is, "Life is a trip about searching for the person who shares the same universe that is in your heart." And his whole thing is like, the first child you have as a friend, your first friend you have as a child is really important, because it's the first time you become an entity separate from the world around you. But our child friendships die out. Every friendship has an ending date. And in the end, our first friendships often feel like dreams because we move on. But the problem he has with kids is that they live in a world of moral absolutism. So children have this idea that, you must always tell the truth, you must always keep a promise. And he says what children deeply fear is growing up, because they have to go into a world of moral greyness. That's Fiore. He was the little boy who Tuxedo Mask had to keep his promise. So what he's trying to do by destroying the planet is basically bring Tuxedo Mask back to a child state by making him keep his promise. Even though keeping that promise is, Tuxedo Mask was right to break that promise. Fiore's been gone for, 25 years? So what he's doing here is making him keep that promise because he is a child still. And I also think my favorite note he makes, when I first read this, really blew me away, is like, to keep in mind that this film has 3 sanitariums in it. The hospital they meet in, the meteor theory is on because it heals him, and the crystal he puts Mamoru in. There are 3. This film is set in 3 hospitals.
Yeah, I always saw the crystal thing that Mamoru is in and kind of thought of Zelda and Ocarina of Time.
I thought about the pods full of goo in Dragon Ball, where they would heal them in the pods of goo.
Oh yeah, yeah,
the healing tanks on Frieza's ship that they
the back to healing tanks. Yeah,
I kind of saw it as the womb, so I'm not sure what it's about me.
We all went very different places with the goo-filled crystal that we stuck Tuxedo Mask in full outfit, by the way.
Of course.
But he comes out perfectly dry. That's a good suit. Nice and waterproof.
That's a good tux. That was worth the investment.
As the resident Sailor Moon neophyte, and having seen the Deke dub with y'all several months ago now, how many Sailor Moon villains' plot involves a plan to drain humanity of their life force?
Most of them.
Yes. The answer is yes.
Just checking.
I think it's pretty much all of them up until Chaos, whose plan is just kill everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's basically that.
Yeah, once you get to the end of the manga, we're sort of dealing with like the energy of the universe and rebirth. There's a lot of energy. Very few bank robberies.
Yeah.
Well,
mostly just taking the life force of people. I do like that. Also, I do like that there's a lore behind this flower. Like Artemis and Luna are aware of I want to say Kardashian, and I know it's not a Kardashian flower because my brain is like Cardassia, right? That's a Star Trek thing. No.
Yeah, the Cardassian Union.
So what am I think? What is the name of that? But I like that there's lore to this, and I also forgot that Artemis is Vash the Stampede, and that blew my mind when I realized that.
Yeah, I love how
Johnny Young Bosch out of nowhere.
I like even they just drop that. It's like, oh yeah, we know all about this deadly flower. We've never decided to tell you about it before. It plays into the idea that Luna is just a terrible mentor for all of her. Like, oh, Usagi, you're not here. Like, don't tell her anything. Like, heads up, please.
I do like the fact that he wears the flower like a little corsage, and she just like curls out of it and is like, no, don't trust anyone. Get him, but listen to me. I'm trustworthy.
The flower monster is one of the weirdest changes that Pioneer made is Pioneer made her more of a character. So
really?
So in the Viz dub, they don't really talk that much. She sort of basically just goes into his head and is like, kill them all. They have little conversations in the original dub. It's not a choice I like, because it turns it from like a sort of a force of evil to like an actual evil person, which I don't know, doesn't work as well for me.
Yeah.
It also kind of brings up the point why no one realizes the flower. Like in this final form, where it talks in his head, it makes more sense because like that's why no one realizes it's evil. When it's loudly declaring, "We're going to kill everybody," you think like Amy would probably be like, maybe that's the problem.
I do like remembering that Amy has her little like Saiyan scouter, like when it pops out, and then you have a little computer to go full Star Fox on everything. When all of the monsters are popping up on her little view screen, that's a fun little shot.
Oh yeah. Also, weirdly, it's in German. It's not
It
in the
is.
show.
That was
It's
another. I was
just in,
curious, but why is it in German? Can she read that? Is that canon?
I guess so. She goes to a lot of cram schools. Maybe that's brainwashing school of terror. She didn't get turned to the Dark Kingdom, but she did end up knowing German.
She learned German. Screw it. Why not?
That's a resume builder right there.
Being
Uh,
multilingual in Japan is very helpful.
Yes.
I'm not sure if German's the most helpful language.
I can think of less helpful ones.
Depends on the decade, really.
I guess her computer is in German, so it is for her the most useful language.
For her specifically.
Yeah.
I speak German on Mercury.
Just randomly. I guess for her that would be. I guess for her Moon Kingdom that'd be an ancient language. That was basically like us knowing Latin. Just German became the language of science. Talking of a weird moment in this, the extended scene where Usagi gets thrown through a window and then Chibiusa tries to wake her up by choking her, which goes on like 3 minutes too long.
I thought genuinely that my internet wasn't buffering for a second. Like I genuinely thought that it had frozen, and I was like, okay, maybe I need to just jog it awake. And it was like, no, this was how long that scene was.
That's one of the things Pioneer fixes. They at least have just Chibiusa continually talking to herself during it, so it's slightly annoying, but means you don't think your DVD player has just died.
Yeah.
It's a very weird. I guess because they had to do something with Chibiusa, but you can't have a fight yet because she's not Sailor Chibi Moon yet.
I just can't get over when she pulled a gun on Usagi. Like when all of a sudden just like she's backing, and I know it's like a trick gun, but it is not portrayed as a trick gun right away.
Luna P is just like a weird thing, and then you realize that was given to her by Pluto. It's like, Pluto, why were you giving this child? Because like the items she produced with Luna P are weird. Like there's the fucking hypnotic parasol. She does a gun more than once. Like that probably shouldn't have been something you gave to a child.
I had forgotten that it's just all of a sudden Chibiusa's packing heat, and I'm wondering why that's not more of a meme image.
It is if you're in the right circles.
That's true.
Actually, talking some. Oh, go ahead, Sam.
Well, I was wondering about this, like when we're seeing all the scouts kind of take on the flower monsters. Um, like where was this produced in line with the animated series?
So it was being produced when the second season was being produced. This is why
Okay.
Ikuhara doesn't direct much in the second series because he's doing this film. So it's actually pretty interesting is that the reason, so there was a lot of controversy with this film. A lot of people in the studio thought it was too violent. But yeah, so basically very early on, in his latest thing mentions that, that we were given the runtime very early on and we had to stick to that. So a lot of scenes were cut, a lot of scenes were shaved for time. He apparently had a big argument with the production for when Tuxedo Mask dies because he wanted that to last 18 seconds and he got it. But yeah, this was made before the next season was confirmed. So that's why he was so insistent on having all the scouts nearly die and have them explain why they fight. Because he was like, I want this to be a coda to the season in case we don't get another. So this was designed as an ending, though from what I can tell, Ikuhara was the only person who was thinking that at the time. I don't think anyone else was. I think it was just him.
Right, because all the scouts kind of like you were saying earlier, they all kind of get their big like this is it kind of moment throughout the movie, which is, again refreshing compared to the snail's pace we were going through earlier. But yeah, the other, aspect of it, and as someone that does know a bit about Sailor Moon, it's like how many times does Sailor Moon die over the course of the franchise, including this film?
How do you count dying?
How many times does Goku die? Like, this is just a thing that we do.
Just twice.
Like,
Just twice.
anime.
She dies a lot. She gets
She does
absolutely.
die a lot.
There's a couple which are debatable if you consider her dead or not.
Yeah,
Like,
Goku only
now,
dies twice. Krillin dies like 4 times.
Yeah, he gets a free coffee next time.
yeah, you get another punch card on the froyo, baby.
The only series where he doesn't die is Super and Daima so far.
That's because I forgot about him.
They
Yeah, he dies
forgot.
twice in Z.
And they like kill Piccolo in Super,
Super.
but
Yeah, they technically kill Piccolo and Super. But yeah, with this, I guess if you want to, we always kind of jump around with these, but as we kind of get with the Silver Crystal and all that, like, yeah, Usagi does the sacrifice play. She gets the, everything's going to shit, and she makes the sacrifice play. Transformation thingy gets damaged, and she dies. But the power of love brings her back.
The power of the flower of friendship, as Pioneer changed it to, not the flower of love,
Oh,
flower of life.
I do also want to point out when we have that moment where Fiore is sucking the energy out of her, the Jesus pose we put her in.
yeah.
Like, can we talk about her being crucified?
I
Yeah,
mean, yeah.
that we hadn't worked out before. That is the moment you go, "All right, Ikuhara's directing this, isn't he?" That man
Yeah.
loves to crucify a girl.
Because she's like like it's a gorgeous shot, like it's beautifully composed, and I hope that there's a statue of it out there somewhere. But it's Evangelion levels of blatant.
Oh yeah, no, there's that whole sequence is just so over the top. It's amazing.
I love it. I love it so. I love when anime does anime bullshit, and this is just anime bullshit at its finest.
Talking of that, the ending bit, I want to point out how Pioneer absolutely ruins it in their original dub. So they changed the bit of the crashing the meteor to be like, oh, we're going to put the crash will send the flowers out. So it's basically we've destroyed the flowers. Oh, no, you haven't. Crashing the meteor will still send them out, which no, that's the flower killing Fiore out of being like, well, fine, I'm going to kill all of you. It really undermines that moment when it's just an attempt to redo what was already done and undoes the entire point of Princess Serenity reaching out to Fiore as a person.
Mm.
It's like, again, I don't think you read the dialogue before dubbing this, guys.
And then Fiore becomes a space fetus again.
Yay!
Yay!
And he rockets off into the air.
Being a zygote, I guess.
And Tuxedo Mask will always remember his boyfriend and will not forget about him before the start of the next season.
You will definitely not forget about him
Yeah.
at all.
He's got a
Please
poster
don't
in
put me
his...
in another goo-filled crystal. I'll remember you this time.
If you bring me back flowers...
That's a real question. How many times does Tuxedo Mask end up in a goo-filled crystal? Because it's more than once.
It is more than once. He does die quite a few times as well.
Yeah.
Becomes a vampire
I mean, they
once.
all die a bunch.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and Neptune also becomes a vampire.
Yeah.
Neptune does become a vampire. That does happen.
Because it's
Quick sidebar.
Yeah.
Sailor Moon is a lot like JoJo. In that, like, I feel like I can take a lot of stuff out of context and I cannot spoil parts of Sailor Moon. In the same way that if I say certain things about JoJo, it is a spoiler. It doesn't make sense out of context.
You could make an argument there. It's because both of them are really obsessed with fashion. Maybe that's like if you're like really into fashion, you can
And
create
poses.
this bizarre manga. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like JoJo and Sailor Moon have a lot more crossover than people would assume. Did Araki ever draw any of the Sailor Moon characters? He draws everybody.
He 100% has, but I don't think it was anything official. I think it might have been a sketch.
I gotta see if I can hunt that
Can
down.
you imagine
Anyway,
an Iraqi tailor tuxedo mask?
I would kill for an Iraqi tuxedo mask. What
His
would
stand is Kishima Rose.
Yeah, just
Yes! Iraqi. I know you're watching.
Please.
yeah.
Iraqi.
I
Anyway,
did
what were you
I
saying?
did go to the JoJo world when I was in Tokyo this time.
You son of a bitch.
The best theme park. I want you guys to help me with something that has been bugging me for several years. So, in the essay, in the Laserdisc, Ikuhara is a rambly weirdo.
Okay.
But, so we know at the very end we get the flashback where Usagi gives young Tuxedo Mask a rose, which is the rose he then gives to Fiore. In Japan, when handing it over, she says congrats. And in the essay, Ikuhara says that's the most important line and it has a special meaning, and then proceeds to not elaborate on it. I want you people to try. I have a theory, but I would like to hear your opinion of it, because that lingering line in that essay has haunted me for about 10 years.
I'm gonna let Sam go first.
Her saying, Usagi saying congratulations after the rose.
After handing him the rose as a baby.
I mean, he gets to. Uh, I mean, it's almost like a no ill will thing, I would assume. I mean, it's just kind of like, thank you and go live to the after. He gets to go to the afterlife. He gets to, because he dies, doesn't he? He's off and resting in peace. He's no longer lonely anymore.
I kind of saw it as like a congratulate. I could see that as a congratulations of like you get to die as yourself kind of thing. Where as opposed to being possessed and filled with hatred, you get to like congratulations. You figured out what ties us together, and now you don't have to suffer and be alone. Now you don't have to be alone anymore because you're not isolating yourself to one person.
Yeah, and in his most pure innocent form.
Yeah.
Being short. See, I've always taken it as, to steal from his later work, that in that moment they both revolutionized their world, in that Usagi lied for the first time. Because she said that I brought these flowers as a gift, and what she then breaks the gift to give to Toxedo. So she did something morally grey, because a child would think, this is the gift, it must be preserved.
Yeah.
And then she also said, I'm a big, like, I think that's saying that's the first time Usagi lied. And that's why she and Tuxedo Mask sort of grew up in that moment and left moral certainty. In the same way, then Tuxedo Mask hands that gift away, which is another social faux pas. But he did it for the best thing. I also think it's interesting in Japan. Tuxedo Mask says, my friend is going away and probably won't be coming back. Which also implies that he's already lying at that point. Like, he knows Fiore will never come back, and he's like, okay, we're promising to be friends forever. But I kind of know that the world isn't perfect, and you never will. So that's what I've always taken it as. But I just wish, if I get him, I want to grab him firmly by the lapels and say, finish that sentence.
So one of the cool things about flower language in Japan is how different it is than in America. So like red roses in America are obviously like romance and passionate admiration, but in Japan they also have other meanings, which are courage and respect. So that could also kind of be a little bit of it. Like there's you survived this long. Like there's a respect to that. There's a commitment to that.
Oh, that would also actually then interesting. That would dovetail, because the other thing he also notes in this essay a lot is that loneliness isn't being alone; it's the feeling that you'll be alone forever. Which is sort of what we see with the flashbacks of each scout. They're all okay on their own. Like Mars is fine on her own; she's doing fine. It's the idea that she'll never have anybody that really sets her off. Yeah, it's. I wish he would have elaborated, but I guess 20 scenes was not enough for him to get his thoughts out.
It's never enough. But we are pulling into our final destination. So what are our final thoughts on Sailor Moon R?
Well, I mean, I enjoyed, this was a more enjoyable experience for me with Sailor Moon, certainly than the Deke Dub that we started with months ago. Because there's all killer, no filler, baby. We're just evil flowers. Tuxedo Mask is now is queer. We stand a legend.
We do stand.
It's it was just a fun blast of Sailor Moon.
I love this movie. I'm obnoxious about Sailor Moon. I think I made that clear. I would recommend this movie, even if you haven't seen any Sailor Moon. It does a good job of setting everything up nicely. It's all nice, self-contained, non-canon to hell, so it's fine. But yeah, this is what you'd want from an anime film. You get a nice plot with a nice solid bit of emotion in there. You get a really fun couple of action scenes, really good music. Yeah, this is just a really nice standalone film. I can see I slightly prefer Hearts in Ice to this, but that might be because of Tuxedo Mask dressed as Santa Claus. But this, yeah, this is on every streaming service. It's on DVD, it's on Blu-ray. Get it? It's great. You'll have a lovely time.
Yeah, like I said, I like this movie. I haven't watched it in a long time. This was a great excuse to watch it again. I think it is gorgeous. It is a beautiful movie. It is it's the best of these early parts of Sailor Moon, I would say. It's like you're getting the great action scenes, you're getting the beautiful design work, you're getting the fun characters, you're getting some weird stuff, and you're getting Johnny Young Bosch out of nowhere, which just is still messing with me in a very real way.
How would Stampede.
How would you both compare R to S and Super S?
As a season or as a movie?
As a movie.
R is probably the most intense we get. S is weird because it's Luna trying to get her end away with a human. It's kind of, this is Tuxedo Mask's film, S is Luna's film, Super S is weird candy monsters.
Yeah. I think that this is the one that is the most committed to being a movie. Like, if that makes sense. Like, the other two are more committed to being a thought experiment, and this is committed to like being a story.
Yeah. Black Dream Hole is just odd. Ash, you can clearly tell it was based on a manga short story that was clearly never meant to be part of the main Sailor Moon canon.
Yeah, but this has a reason to exist. It didn't just will itself into existence. I think that that's the difference. Is like this was planned. The other two were more like, well, we might as well keep you babies. So
I think as a final, it's testament to Ikuhara. I think he makes this film work simply because his commitment to being up in his own bullshit. Like, if you read the essay, anything I've read, he clearly put more thought into this than just being like, this is the Sailor Moon movie we need to make for this year. He clearly wanted to do something with it, and I think that shows. There is a thesis here, however weird it is.
Yeah, and yeah, this is a fun movie. It's a great movie. Check it out. And and the best part is it's only about like an hour and 10 minutes long. You can really get through this movie very quickly. But that does mean that we have pulled into our final destination with no extra flower passengers. That's right. It is time to disembark from Toonami Absolution. We want to thank you once again for joining us and talking about the shows that made us us and the shows that made you you. We have been your hosts. My name is Alyx.
I'm Sam.
And I'm John.
And we'll see you next time. And in the name of the moon, I will punish you.